Good evening, President Carver, members of the Governing Board, Superintendent Finch, Mrs. Taylor, district staff, and our room full of special guests tonight. Tonight, we are celebrating both teachers and students who have demonstrated that their state tests are no match for our DVUSD teachers or students. These groups had the highest test scale scores and the highest median percentage growth in their grade levels and areas of English language arts, math, or science. For the 2024-2025 school year, DVUSD students performed at a rate 16% higher than the state average on the AASA English Language Arts Assessment and 17% higher than the state average on the math assessment. A total of 410 students from across Deer Valley earned the best possible score on their English Language Arts, math, or science assessment. It would be quite a challenge to perform as well as these students did without this incredible teachers and dedicated staff throughout DVUSD. We will start tonight by honoring 13 teachers whose hard work paid off as their students saw the highest median growth percentile in their specific subject and in their grade level throughout the entire district for the 2024-2025 school year. These teachers represent students who take the state assessments, including 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 11th grades in the content areas of math, English Language Arts, or ELA. First up tonight is the highest median growth percentile in 4th grade as a teacher in ELA, Diamond Canyon School's Lillian Giese. We're going to do a group shot at the end because there's so many teachers and so many students. Next is the top teacher for the highest median growth percentile in 5th grade ELA. Congratulations to Norton Foothill School's Shelley Miller. And representing 6th grade ELA is Stetson Hill School's Heather Duran. From Terramar Academy of the Arts, posting the highest median growth percentile in 7th grade ELA, Terramar Academy of the Arts is Donovan Martin. Representing the Sierra Verde STEAM Academy Vipers for the highest median growth percentile in 8th grade ELA is Kristen Thiel. And moving up to our high school level, we're honoring one teacher from Deer Valley High School and another from Mountain Ridge High School, earning the highest median growth percentile for 9th graders. Congratulations to Deer Valley High School's Sarah Visera. And last but certainly not least, our 11th grade ELA. Congratulations to Mountain Ridge High School teacher Mark Faust, who earned the highest median growth for 11th grade. If we could have all of our ELA teachers back for one big group shot since there's so many of you. Next, we move on to our DVUSD teachers who earn the highest median growth for their respective grade levels while teaching math in grades 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 11th grades respectively. First up for our math teachers is Anthem School's 4th grade teacher, Tessa Thomas. Representing the 5th grade teachers throughout DVUSD for her highest median growth and at the Traditional Academy of Bel Air is 5th grade teacher Rosalie Bice. For our highest median growth in 6th grade, DVUSD honors Greenbrier Elementary School's teacher Casey Gellings. And at the 7th grade level, Gavilan Peak School's teacher Minji Wong earning the top spot. Inspiring her students at Inspiration Mountain School is 8th grade math teacher Dawn McKinney. And at the high school math world, the Mountain Ridge High School Math Department is really showing what it's made of this year, with 2 teachers earning the top median growth percentiles. Congratulations, David Moeller, for earning the highest median growth for his 9th grade students in math. And finally, congratulations to Lindsay Flegel for earning a top median growth percentile for her students in 11th grade math at Mountain Ridge High School. And then if we could have all of our math teachers up for a quick picture, and then all of our teachers up for a big group picture once again. So just be ready, ELA teachers as well. Okay, math teachers, don't move. If we could have the ELA teachers jump in for a giant group shot. Next, we move on to our DVUSD students whose results really impressed everyone with their AASA assessment. Throughout the district, there were 27 students who scored the highest possible scale score on 2 assessments, including ELA, math, and or science in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 8th grade. Students, please come forward when I call your name. Tonight, we have students representing each of our Deer Valley Unified School District high school regions, representing the following schools: Arrowhead, Canyon Springs, Gavilan Peak, Diamond Canyon, Greenbrier, Highland Lakes, Inspiration Mountain, Las Brisas, Legend Springs, Union Park, Stetson Hills, Sunset Ridge, Terramara Academy of the Arts, and West Wing. Since there are so many students, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to take a big group picture by grade level. Our 3rd grade top scorers are kicking off tonight for our students. Representing the Greenbrier Elementary School Sidewinders, congratulations, Emily Becker, for her highest score in math and ELA. From Arrowhead Elementary School, congratulations, Emma Gregory. Earning the highest possible scale score in ELA and math from Union Park School, congratulations, Savannah Francis. With the highest scale score in ELA and math from Stetson Hill School, Lucy Hansen. Representing Terramar Academy of the Arts, congratulations, Charlotte Henderson. And rounding out our 3rd graders, congratulations from Legend Springs Elementary School, Charlotte Knapp. If we could have all of our 3rd graders join us on the stairs for a group photo. There are 8 4th grade students tonight who earned the highest scale score in math and ELA. First up, congratulations to the Wise Las Brisas Owl, Benjamin Campbell. Next are 2 Canyon Springs STEM Academy Wolves. Congratulations, Xander Zaraban. And congratulations to fellow member of the Wolf Pack, Joaquin Gayton. Representing Gavilan Peak School, congratulations, Ethan Kwong. Next up tonight with, actually, just kidding. If we could have all of our fourth graders up for a picture, I believe. I got everybody? Did I get everybody? Nope. Maybe, nope, just kidding, pretending. Okay, we're going to start again. And next up tonight with the highest scale score for ELA and math from Sunset Ridge School, congratulations, Nonye Porter. From Diamond Canyon School, congratulations, Caden Campbell. From Highland Lake School, congratulations, Jules Nishimura. And just to make sure you guys are all paying attention tonight, this is our final fourth grader. Congratulations to Pleasant Springs Elementary School's Morris Huang. And now if we could have all of our fourth graders back to the stage for a picture. Kicking off our fifth grade students is Inspiration Mountain School's Nights, Audrey Hartstuck. From Union Park School, congratulations, Noah Paz. Next up are two Diamond Canyon Coyotes. Congratulations, Haley Fleshman. And also representing Diamond Canyon, congratulations, Julie Heiner. And finishing up our fifth grade honorees tonight, congratulations, Legend Springs Elementary School's Kyson Corbridge. If we could have all our fifth graders back to the stage for a quick group photo. And with our highest scale score in both ELA and math, the sole sixth grader tonight. Congratulations, West Wing School's Alicia Kim. And now we move on to students who impressed us with their high scale scores and have moved on to high school within DVUSD as freshmen. Congratulations to two Gavilan Peak School Firebirds who are now Boulder Creek School Jags. Congratulations, Allison McMillan. And the second former Firebird, congratulations, Gavilan Peak School's Samuel Specker. One more. Next up, representing Highland Lake School Bears, who is now a Mountain Ridge High School Mountain Lion, congratulations, Gravier Grover. And finally tonight, flying high now for the Sandra Day O'Connor Eagles and a former Stetson Hill Stallion, congratulations, Cody Harper, for the highest scale score in math and science. I believe a lot of them have left the room, but if you are still a high scale score, you could come back for a big group picture. That would be great. That concludes tonight's awards and recognitions. The regularly scheduled governing board meeting will begin in just a few minutes at 7 p.m.
Thank you. We will have to call from Dr. Finch's phone. Regular Governing Board meeting Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Dr. Finch?
Test one, test one.
Test, test.
Jenna, do you want to test your microphone?
Test.
And a final test. We're all good.
Test. Double final test. That's my final answer.
I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Deer Valley Unified School District Governing Board meeting to order. Sorry, that came out all wrong. At 7:03. Let the record show all board members are present. Save Ms. Simichek, who is telephonic. Dr. Z, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence? Thank you, everyone. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Passes 4-1. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. First item of business tonight is district reports. Dr. Galligan.
Good evening, President Carver, governing board members, and guests. Tonight, we are excited to share an overview of K-8 student achievement in Deer Valley. This presentation will highlight how our elementary and middle schools are building strong academic foundations and providing opportunities that prepare students for success in high school and beyond. The purpose of this presentation is to review K-8 assessment results, showcase specialized programs and supports, and celebrate points of pride from across our schools, illustrating how our students are growing academically on their pathway to high school success. Tonight's agenda begins with an overview of the state assessments that measure student growth in K-8, followed by highlights of programs and supports that enrich their learning. We will also celebrate points of pride from each region, showing the ways Deer Valley schools are preparing students for their future success. We're going to start with assessments. Our students take 3 statewide assessments during their K-8 years that build upon one another. DIBELS tracks foundational reading skills in the early grades. AASA measures growth and proficiency in English language arts and math through the middle grades. And AZ-SCI captures cumulative science understanding in grades 5 and 8. Each play an important role in preparing students for future academic success. This slide highlights the importance of looking at both proficiency and context when evaluating student outcomes in our elementary and middle grades. Proficiency acts as a checkpoint showing whether our students in grades K through 8 are on track and laying the foundation for success on the ACT in grade 11. That's the assessment we talked about at our last board meeting. But proficiency alone does not tell the full story. Context adds meaning by considering broader factors, looking at DVUSD's own 3-year trends, comparing results to the state averages, peer district national benchmarks, and accounting for the variabilities that sometimes happen in our school year. Together, proficiency and context provide a more complete and accurate picture of student achievement. This combined DIBELS K-3 data chart shows Deer Valley students outperforming national averages at the start of the school year. Fewer of our students begin in the well below category, and more are already at or above benchmark. Being at benchmark means that students are on track in the essential reading skills such as phonics, phonemic awareness, decoding, and fluency that are predictive of later reading success. This reflects the strong foundation in early literacy being built in our classrooms across our schools. This is a cool chart here. The beginning of the year DIBELS data shows Deer Valley students performing above national averages in grades 1 through 3, with more students reaching benchmark and above benchmark levels. While kindergarten results highlight a higher percentage of students entering our schools well below benchmark, our schools quickly close gaps in the early grades, as shown by stronger outcomes in grades 2 and grade 3. These results reinforce the emphasis we place on early literacy support and targeted interventions to ensure every student is on track for success. Now I want you to just look at this slide. We'll start over on the left side. In 2018, we set a goal to reduce the percentage of students scoring well below benchmark on DIBELS to be under 15%. We have consistently met that target, and as a result, our focus has now shifted to increasing the percentage of students scoring at or above benchmark, and you can see on the right side, ensuring that they build the literacy foundation needed for success up through high school. This is truly a proud moment for us and our schools. We're going to shift to AASA now. This data shows Deer Valley students outperform state averages in both math and ELA. In math, 51% of students are proficient or highly proficient, with 22% at the high proficiency level, while the state average is just 33.5%. And again, we're talking context here. In ELA, 58% are proficient or higher, with 19% highly proficient, compared to the state average of 40.8%. These results provide important checkpoints of student readiness as they build towards high school expectations and ultimately that ACT, which is our final assessment.
I'll jump in a bit here, Dr. G. So President Carver, members of the board, Dr. Finch, just to add on some additional context in terms of what these scores mean, ADE publishes on their website on the Comprehensive Needs Assessment page, and it shows the achievement for schools in terms of where they should be at based on poverty levels for the district. And so when you see a graph like what you are seeing here and saying that the district is outperforming the state, the next question that should ensue is, are you outperforming the state at the rate that you should be? And so you can see in the graphs from ADE, even on their websites, that they run a simple regression. And so to not get too fancy there, it's just a simple scatter plot showing where folks land with their proficiency scores compared to free and reduced lunch levels. And you can see that Deer Valley consistently now for multiple years is outperforming where it would be expected to perform if it aligned to where everyone else was performing at that particular free and reduced lunch level. So again, it's a true celebration to our principals and our teachers and our support staff for that high level of performance that they are yielding.
Thank you, Dr. Zerbach. All right, this slide shows AASA growth data for grades 3 through 8 measured by student growth percentiles. And this one, if you'll just stay with me, students earn 0 points for low growth, 1 point for average growth, and 2 points for high growth, with the state distribution typically 1/3 in each category. In Deer Valley, more students are moving into the high growth category, earning those 2 points, 36% in ELA and 34% in math. These results highlight the impact of effective instruction and demonstrate that our students are making meaningful year-over-year progress, keeping them on track for long-term success and readiness for ACT. And as Dr. Zerbach said, it truly is our administrators who lead our teachers and our teachers who have solid foundations in their classrooms. Here's another celebration. This chart shows the percentage of ELA growth points earned by each of our schools on the AASA assessment. This one is for ELA. What stands out is that the majority of Deer Valley schools are performing at or above expectations, with many clustered at the high end of the distribution. This means our schools are not only helping students meet proficiency benchmarks, but also moving them forward academically year over year. Strong literacy growth is essential for building the foundation that supports all future academic learning. And when we say year after year, growth is based on what happened last year and in the same peer cohort, what happened this year?
I think here, what I would like to point out is if you look at the schools that are on the right side of the graph, first of all the schools are doing well in terms of percentage of points earned. But if you look at the right side and see the batch, the schools that are on there really are a slice of all of our schools. So you see some of our Title I schools that are listed there, and you see some of our schools that are not Title I, that they're all achieving or having a chance to achieve at that highest level of the 90 to 100% of the points that are available.
We'll slip to math now. This chart highlights the percentage of math growth points earned by each Deer Valley school, again on AASA. As you can see, many of our schools are earning growth points at very high levels, with a significant number clustered near the top of the distribution again. This demonstrates that across the district, students are not only maintaining their learning pace, but accelerating their progress in math. Strong growth in mathematics builds the problem-solving and reasoning skills students will need for continued success in high school courses and on into college and career pathways. Science achievement is a point of pride in Deer Valley, with 53% of fifth graders and 52% of eighth graders proficient in science. Deer Valley is preparing students with problem-solving and critical thinking skills essential for STEM success. These results, well above state averages and our peer districts, show our students are building readiness for advanced coursework in high school and beyond. Now we're going to jump into some pretty cool K-8 highlights. One of the programs that is one of our signature programs is our dual language immersion programs. Immersion programs benefit students by strengthening overall learning. Our Mandarin and Spanish immersion students not only show very high English language arts proficiency, reaching up to 90% in some campuses, but they also demonstrate stronger growth than their non-immersion peers. Learning in two languages builds advanced literacy skills, deeper comprehension, and greater academic resilience that extends across all content areas. In mathematics, Deer Valley's dual language immersion students also excel, achieving strong proficiency and growth. Dual language learning enhances memory, reasoning, and abstract thinking, skills that are directly tied to math problem solving. Immersion students apply these strengths to accelerate their progress, demonstrating that the benefits of bilingualism extends well beyond language into quantitative learning as well. Another one of our signature programs is the Renaissance Highly Gifted Academy. This chart compares ELA proficiency and growth for Renaissance and non-Renaissance students. As expected, our Renaissance students show extremely high proficiency rates with scores in the mid-90s to 100% across campuses, and we would expect that of our highest learners, well above their non-Renaissance peers. What is especially notable, however, is that Renaissance students are also demonstrating strong growth, with median growth percentiles that in some cases exceed those of non-Renaissance students. This means that even our highest achieving students are continuing to make meaningful academic progress year after year, not just maintaining their progress. The next slide is for math. Even with exceptionally high math proficiency rates, Renaissance students continue to show strong growth, with median growth percentiles in the 60s at some campuses. This demonstrates that our highest achieving math students are not only maintaining excellence, but are being challenged and supported to keep advancing. I did want to share a little bit about our gifted identified learners. In the 24-25 school year, Deer Valley identified 840 students for gifted and talented services at the 97th percentile or higher. The state requires that districts identify students at the 97th percentile or higher. And when we include talented students who fall just below that threshold, a total of 1,432 students across kindergarten through 12th grade students were identified. We know that identification is essential so that students receive the right supports and challenges, and with the goal of preventing disengagement, addressing unique learning needs, and helping this student population reach their highest potential. We're going to jump just a little bit into multi-tier systems of support. MTSS is the framework we use to guide academic and behavioral supports, but in our district across all of our schools, it represents more than a structure. It reflects our commitment to every student. Truly for us, all means all in Deer Valley. By aligning instruction, intervention, and progress monitoring, we ensure that all students have the right support at the right time to grow, learn, and thrive. I'll give you just a little a definition for each. Multi-tier systems of support provides a tiered system of supports to meet students' needs wherever they are. Tier 1 ensures high-quality, first-best instruction for every student. Tier 2 offers targeted small group help for fewer students. And Tier 3 delivers the most intensive support with specialists. This framework allows us to take action so that every learner is supported and able to succeed in our schools. Since the COVID year, we have focused heavily on positive behavior systems, and that focus is making a measurable impact. You can see that the percentage of students in grades 3 through 8 who feel they belong at school has risen from 79% to 83%. A strong sense of belonging fostered through each of our schools' multi-tier systems of support behavior systems, and Dr. Zerbach can talk a little bit more about that, builds engagement, motivation, and most important, persistence, which in turn drives academic success, personal growth, and readiness for the future outlined in our portrait of a graduate. Do you want to add anything, Dr. Z?
Again, I don't think this slide is unfamiliar to the board. You've seen the results from the MTSSB. Again, I probably would just give many thanks and credit to our campus staff again, to our admin, our teachers, our support staff. This is a lot of work to go into this particular system, to stick to it, to implement the structures that are needed to do this year after year and sustain this type of growth. So kudos again to the staff of the campuses.
Our work with MTSSB is strengthening student self-efficacy, a belief that I can do it. As students build confidence in their ability to learn and overcome challenges, they grow greater effort, resilience, and achievement, which in turn supports stronger results across academics and assessments that you've seen. This growth overview reflects both achievement and opportunities related to Tier 3 reading. So this chart is really from our NWA assessment last year, and we're focusing on Tier 3 reading and eventually math. Students on average exceeded typical growth with 103. Students on average grew more than expected with 117 of typical growth achieved. 53% of students met or exceeded typical growth, and 34% demonstrated accelerated growth. These results confirm that our approach with first best instruction at Tier 1 and then Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports is making a meaningful difference for student learning. When we look at the Tier 3 interventions we have for math, that would be Do the Math and Read Math 180. This growth overview reflects the impact of strong Tier 3 math instruction and targeted supports specifically in grades 2, 3, and 4. In the fall of 2024, 595 of the students receiving Do the Math intervention as their Tier 3 instruction were 2 or more grade levels below. In the spring of 2025, 325 students of those increased at least 1 grade level. Of the 180 students that were 3 or more grade levels below in the fall of 24, 104 increased at least 1 grade level. These results confirm once again that Tier 3, that approach, is making a meaningful difference for student learning. We expect in Tier 3 that our students minimally make greater than 1 grade level approach, but when we can hit more than 1 grade level approach, we know that kids are really doing well.
And again, for the board, I would just add in here, if you're making connections between slides that Dr. G talked about earlier, if these internal systems that we have with our curriculum are working, then the graph that you saw with the growth of low growth, average growth, and high growth, there should be a correlation to a lower than 33% percentage of students that are in the low growth, because the state, by definition, and again, I'm getting a little bit into the weeds here as far as how they determine growth, but the state has to have 33.3% of the students that are there in that low growth. And so if we're surpassing that, then we're getting an additional indicator that these systems are also translating to the state exams, which they are.
We're going to step into a few of our programs that are available for our kids, and that's STEM education. Through engineering design and hands-on computer science, our K-8 students learn to solve complex problems with creativity and technology. By the time they enter high school, they are better prepared for rigorous coursework and future opportunities to lead and innovate. Over the past 3 years, Deer Valley has expanded access to computer science, culminating this past year in 24-25, with grade-level specific computer science resources at each school, each grade level. Students use these resources to further develop their proficiency and content area skills. Students at 7th and 8th grade further investigate STEM within their exploratory courses, and learning extends through participation in robotics competitions. During last school year, Deer Valley hosted our first district competition for students to showcase their skills. In collaboration with CTE leaders, this event provided a venue for students to engage in computer competition beyond their classroom, and visibility for parents of the progression of STEM from middle school into high school. Campuses hosted a record number of STEM events during the 24-25 school year. These events celebrated the integration of STEM across multiple disciplines by showcasing student projects, community partnerships, and the STEM learning that takes place at our schools. In Deer Valley, STEM learning cultivates essential skills such as problem solving, collaboration, and critical thinking, the soft skills that our businesses ask us for. During Computer Science Education Week in December, our annual partnership with USAA continued as 42 volunteers led engaging coding session for 71 classrooms in grades 2 through 6 with students. Through these hour of code sessions, students heard about the volunteers' professional experience with technology and participated in a creative coding lesson. New this past year, our CTE student ambassadors from the high school software and app development programs led middle school STEM exploratory classes in a text-based coding lesson, thereby firming up middle school through high school competencies. Early CTE, or career and technical education, along with STEM opportunities, allows our elementary and middle school students to see how classroom learning connects to future careers. With ambassador visits, robotics competitions, computer science days, and strong community partnerships, Deer Valley is creating pathways from kindergarten through 8th grade through high school CTE programs. We are especially grateful to the Deer Valley Education Foundation and Marie for their $50,000 STEM and Career Exploration Grant, which makes many of these opportunities possible. The upcoming slides provide just a glimpse into the excellence happening every day in our K-8 schools. While not an exhaustive list, these regional highlights showcase how students and staff are excelling in academics, arts, athletics, and community service, showcasing the talent and dedication of Deer Valley students and staff in every one of our regions. The Barry Goldwater region shines with Union Park's Spelling Bee win, district sports titles, and top band ratings. Village Meadows earned the PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention Supports Award. Paseo Hills marked 25 years of Veterans Day celebrations, and Norterra Canyon staged the Lion King Jr. Sonoran Foothills achieved top math growth and strong athletic finishes, while the region also celebrated Deer Valley Education Foundation Teachers of the Year. Highlights from the Boulder Creek region include Mary Killebrew's Silver Apple Award, Brittany Sutton, who was here earlier this evening's Principal of the Year recognition, and Desert Mountain's Female Athlete of the Year. Diamond Canyon celebrated the Battle of the Books win and the Deer Valley Education Teacher of the Year honors, while Canyon Springs earned both Teacher and Rookie of the Years. The Deer Valley High School region celebrates growth and achievement with Arrowhead's ELA and Math Goal Parade, Highland Lake's A+ School of Excellence, and Greenbrier's second place in Battle of the Books. Students also excelled in athletics and enrichment through Highland Lake's Basketball Championship and Mountain Shadows Girls on the Run. The Mountain Ridge region shines with achievements across academics and the arts, from State Vocabulary Bowl and Palm titles to Battle of the Books and Spelling Bee honors. Students continue to excel. Terramar's band earned Superior with Distinction, while regional leaders were recognized as Teacher and Assistant Principal of the Year. The O'Connor region highlights include Teachers of the Year, National Board Certification, and an A-plus School of Excellence at Stetson Hills. Achievements span academics, arts, and athletics, from Superior with Distinction band honors to the Gecko Gala Fine Arts Celebration, capped by Las Brisas' recognition as an A-rated school. As you've heard throughout this presentation, we celebrate 3 key points of pride: consistently outperforming the state in proficiency, demonstrating strong student growth beyond state expectations, and beginning K-3 students ahead of national averages in early literacy. Just as we've emphasized in our high school, we also look ahead. Our priorities are to continue closing achievement gaps, address grade level variability, and ensure all students keep growing through targeted supports. The achievements we've shared from our K-8 grades demonstrate how academic growth, confidence, and belonging come together to prepare our students for their high school years. By sustaining this momentum, we ensure every student continues their journey toward college, career, and life success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Galligan. Any questions or comments from the board for Dr. Galligan on this topic? Dr. Pack?
First of all, thank you for the data. I love data. I did have a question on slide number 20, the gifted and talented slide. I was curious why the cognitive abilities test was used for the second graders and for fall and spring, but yet the NGAT was used for first grade.
President Carver, Mrs. Pack, Dr. Pack, excuse me. We have always had the cognitive abilities test. That's been here since I was a teacher 38 years.
Right.
Just recently, we added the primary grades, even our preschool, and the NGAT is the one we've selected to use. It's the most efficient one and effective one we found.
So going forward, will we have the NGAT data? Like if we do this again to compare data, or is it?
Oh, absolutely. We've done the NGAT now for 2 years, so we do have some data there. Would you like me to provide that for you?
That would be great, thanks.
Okay, we can do that.
At your leisure. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mrs. Fisher?
I'm glad to see the growth that you're showing, because it does show when I look at the state as well. I'm only looking at 11th graders because you just have to pick one to get a window. 2 years ago, we were at 50% that fell below proficiency at all. The year before, a year after that, it was 52, and we're down to 42 now. So that means we have made significant. But my concern is we compare ourselves to the state, we compare ourselves to other districts. But what I want to know is, what are we doing to make sure that we're comparing ourselves to our kids to our kids, their proficiency? I think it's wonderful because we are turning out more students that are proficient than say other districts. Maybe not as much as some, but more than most public LEA. But what are we doing to catch the 42% that are below proficiency?
President Carver and Mrs. Fisher, as I mentioned, our multi-tier systems of support, we have built a strong foundation across our schools, and I would say that has been over the last 4 years since COVID, where we have made great strides in our master schedules across K-8, where Tier 2 is showcased. I mean, they have to have Tier 2 identified in their master schedule, minimum 25 minutes upward to 45 minutes. That was never there before. Tier 2 we know is so very important because it's for those kids who just needed an extra touch from Tier 1. They just didn't get it the first time, but with that extra touch they do. But what I want to emphasize is there were years where Tier 3 students may not have received Tier 2. So we were jumping over Tier 1 to Tier 3. The goal and what we have worked so diligently for gen ed kids, special ed kids, EL kids, is that all children get Tiers 1, 2, and 3. First best instruction, the intervention that's needed at Tier 2, and then remediation at Tier 3. And then for our special ed and our EL learners, they have the added foundation of working with their EL specialists or their special education teachers. So I understand what you're asking. We have taken a diligent step forward since COVID, even before COVID, but since COVID, to ensure that all 3 tiers of instruction. When you ask compared to our kids, our kids to our kids, I think you can see that. I mean, we can pull from every single one of our schools how they've done proficiency. But really, when you compare proficiency from one year to the next year, those are different children. You can't compare them. But when you look at growth, you are looking at the same student from the previous year to this year and how much growth they have made in their cohort, their peer cohort within the AASA. So we do look at our students compared to themselves and our students compared to other students in that same peer cohort on AASA, on AZ Sci, on ACT, on ACT Aspire.
My concern is the one, the one test that I actually liked was when we had the AZ Merit, or no, it wasn't the AZ Merit, it was the Ames, where you either were proficient and ready to graduate, or you weren't and you didn't graduate. You still graduated, but you didn't get a diploma, you got a certificate of completion, because that gave those students the opportunity to make up that little extra. We don't have anything, from what I can tell, that is going to show that we are turning out a proficient senior. And that's why I'm asking the question. I'm glad to see that there's growth, because that means that we have more that are already proficient 11th grade. But I just want to make sure we're not graduating them and then they're not ready. And so that's why the question. But I do appreciate the response.
That was the presentation at the last school board meeting, with Deer Valley scoring 19.5, which is above the elite in the nation and the national average of 19.4.
No, it doesn't agree with the state. I'm looking at the state along with what we're talking about.
Any further questions or comments for Dr. Galligan? Mr. Bodfeld?
Odd question. The top 3 points of pride, can that be done with public relations? Do we have somebody who can send something out with that?
President Carver, Mr. Botfeld, absolutely we can work with them. Last board meeting, Ms. Simicek asked if we could put the presentation for our high school on the website, and it is on the website. It's in DVUSD Makes a Difference, DVUSD Difference, and we can do the same thing with the Points of Pride. We could even put this whole presentation, because it's such a celebration for our teachers and our students and our families.
Thank you.
Anything further? Ms. Simicek?
No.
Okay. Dr. Galligan, thank you as always. Appreciate the awesome information. Well done. Next on the agenda is the consent items. Dr. Pack?
I move that the governing board approve consent agenda items 4A through 4L.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Just put no vote. I'm not abstaining, I'm not voting. And we do need to correct the minutes that I'm not voting.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item 5A, Dr. Pack.
5A. I move that the governing board approve all employee professional development out of state per governing board policy CCE.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item 5B is in Bravo. Dr. Pack.
I move that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to pre-approve the addenda as presented.
Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Simichek. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item 5C, Dr. Pack.
I move that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to order contract JOC with Skyline Building Sand Volleyball Court High School through a SAVE contract.
Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Simichek. Ms. Mock, do you have a presentation for this?
President Carver, members of the board, we don't have an official presentation, just a brief statement. Mountain Ridge High School already has 2 volleyball courts. As a matter of fact, earlier this calendar year, the governing board approved construction of sand volleyball courts at Barry Goldwater High School and Boulder Creek High School. Those were the last 2 high schools that had 0 courts. This, on the other hand, is going to be the addition of a court to add to the 2 courts that are already there at Mountain Ridge. This is something that the school is funding with funds they have available at their disposal. It's not from what we would consider district funds, and they are and continue to be our largest high school and continue to grow. And so in order to accommodate their students and their program, they believe it beneficial to have a 3rd court in order to have practice times for all and to be able to facilitate games. And with the approval of the job order contract, that would complete the necessary procurement requirements for the construction of this court.
Thank you, Ms. Mock. Any questions for Ms. Mock on this topic?
I just want to know if the intercom system at Barry Goldwater has been fixed.
President Carver, Mrs. Fisher, I had not been made aware that it wasn't, but we will follow up with you after the meeting today.
Thank you, Ms. Mock. I have a question for you. If approved, what's the timeline for this additional court?
President Carver, members of the board, the boys beach volleyball season is in session right now, so construction would not be able to begin until that was complete. We would wait till the students vacated the court and then start construction and have it ready for the girls' season later in the spring.
Thank you very much. Any other questions for Ms. Mock on this topic? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
I just can't vote for a volleyball court when I don't know that kids are safe. And we have kids that we don't know if they are, so I'm going to have to vote nay.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. And item 6A, preview item, is the Arizona School Board Association bylaw change proposal. I'll take lead on this, haven't had my fingers in it last year. Dr. Pack, this will be one of the delegate responsibilities, so we will cover this and answer any questions for you and have discussion about it. We won't be voting on it tonight. This is just a preview item. We do have time, as I believe this isn't scheduled to be voted on until December, if I remember correctly. But for Dr. Pack's benefit and the rest of the board to understand the process, these are the rules for voting on the bylaws, and we'll get to the bylaws amendments here in a minute, but I just wanted to get this out of the way. Each ASBA member district, of which DVUSD is one, is entitled to 1 vote on the proposed amendment. I know last year there was confusion because all board members received an email. Only 1 vote counts. So in this case, it'll be Dr. Pack's responsibility to vote the direction that the board sends her with these bylaw changes. The vote must be submitted using the official online form. The decision vote must be an official governing board action, which means we do need to vote on it before you cast a vote. An affirmative yes vote of 2/3 of the ASBA member districts is necessary for a bylaw amendment to pass. So last year when these proposed changes were made, there was not a 2/3 majority, so there was a lot of time spent, a lot of months going over them. To try to streamline it, there was a lot of confusion and a lot of things were written vaguely, so they came up with their changes, and they're hoping this year, after making a few more modifications, maybe it'll be easier to understand for the member districts, so maybe we can get enough participation to get them enacted. I don't know if everybody's had an opportunity to review the changes. I can tell you in most cases, the changes that have been made are for clarity to, like the first 4 or 5 pages are nothing but duties of different classifications of membership. The ASBA wanted to define a little bit better what everybody's role can be and is, depending on their level of membership. And then, of course, the policy that we all talked about districts with certain numbers of people in them, that's referred to a little bit in the Board of Directors, Section 2. Anyway, we can have a back and forth conversation. If nobody's had an opportunity to review this at this time, I would encourage you to review it and then come back to the board with questions, because we do not need to drain this line by line by line. The vote, Dr. Pack, and for the board's benefit, it will be an all or nothing. When you do cast your vote online, we'll either vote for all the changes as a yes or all the changes as a no. So I'll entertain any questions and do the best I can to answer them. And if there's any specifics we need to discuss, then let's hash them out. Dr. Pack.
I did review all this paperwork, actually, and it seemed pretty straightforward. I did have a question. When I vote on behalf of our board, can I vote sooner than December 18th? It has to be by December 18th, but when?
Correct. As soon as the board has made it a action item and voted on it and given you the direction, then you can cast the vote. So, honestly, the sooner we get all of our questions answered and we all come to a consensus, then we can make it an action item and get it voted on, and then you can execute that.
Thank you.
I was just verifying before I brought it forward. It's not generally voted on at the event. This is the one that Sheila normally puts the vote in. It just, so if you're, when it's ready, if you're the one that's gonna do it, just, if you don't have the log on, you'll have to get it from Sheila.
I got an email and I did not click on it, but it said I could click on it and vote. But I'm like, no, I know I have to talk to my board.
Yeah,
So
so it just,
but thank you.
Yes, this won't be like the law conference. Everybody won't get in the same room. It's an online vote.
do they just do it or don't?
Any points of discussion, or does everybody need some time to digest this, or are we okay with moving this to an action item at
Action next meeting.
action next meeting? I'm sorry, Ms. Simichak, anything?
Yes. I'm sorry, it's cutting out.
That's okay. We're discussing the ASBA bylaw changes,
Yes.
and
yeah.
do you have any questions or concerns, or should
No, I
we
do
move
not.
this?
I do not have questions.
Okay, so a request to make it an action item at the next meeting? Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Fisher, any concerns, or would you like some more time to bring this back up as another preview item and have some more discussion?
No, I've read it.
Okay. All right. So duly noted. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. I appreciate that. Moving on, we'll, next item on the agenda. I'm sorry, did you have anything else, Dr. Pack? Mr. Botfield, you're good? Okay. Dr. Pack, call to the public, please.
If I could please have, let me read this first, and then I'll call your names. The board invites public comment on the district's business in general and on any agenda item in specific. All speakers must observe the rules of decorum. Speakers must fill out a card listing name, address, and topic and hand it to the board secretary prior to the president calling the meeting to order. Speakers must make their comments in no more than 3 minutes. If necessary, to accommodate all speakers within the 30-minute overall limit, the board president may shorten each speaker's time. Constructive criticism is in order. Rudeness, vulgarity, disruptive conduct, or remarks disrespecting personal dignity are not in order and will not be allowed. Under the Arizona Open Meeting Law, the governing board cannot discuss or act on any items not listed on the agenda. Board members may respond to criticism made by a speaker, ask staff to review a matter, or ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. If I could please have Jonathan Thornton, Renee Villegas, Carrie Knutson, Jeff Rattay, and Kelly Fisher approach the microphone. Please state your name before you speak.
Yes, hello. Oh, there we go. All right, good evening, everybody. So my name is Jonathan Thornton. I am here to representing my son who attends Anthem Elementary and recently received a threat while on school and at school. I won't read the full context of this letter as it is extensive and quite detailed and violent, but I will highlight a few things that do pop out. I want him to suffer. I want him to suffer. I want to whip him until his back is bloody and punch him until his skin is more black. I want to shoot him in his own home and want to gut him before his family, before his eyes. Going through, I want him dead. I want him to know what it feels like to have nothing at school. I want to shoot him and have his face off. I want to watch as the light fades from his eyes. I love the thought of him screaming in pain, agonizing. He would kill himself. He will suffer. And throughout this letter, he describes multiple ways of doing this, either to my son or to members of our family. Now, we have taken action to move forward to have something done. I know there are safety plans that they have in state for these type of procedures, but the extent of this letter, I think, falls way beyond that plan and the safety for not only my child but other children inside the school as well too. It's just very concerning. The school has worked as much as they can within their means, within their necessary protocols, but still only after a week of being out of school, the child is back on the campus and have not gotten any clarification after recently yesterday going to a meeting stating whether this child will have his bag searched daily. If so, and not getting that confirmation, I have not allowed my son to go back to school until then, and don't feel safe enough to allow him to go back to school. And they said it was private information, but I think that's information that I should at least have, knowing that I feel safety for my son going back to school. And just, he's missing school, and it's just a lot to be considered. I just don't know what else to do. Well, there's other options, but it's running pretty low on that right now. So, like, things need to be considered, or just needs to be addressed, or it needs to be addressed with the principal again, because I don't find this acceptable. That's all I have to say.
Can you please repeat what school this is? I missed that cutout in the beginning.
Yes, this is Anthem Elementary School.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Renee Villegas, and my son attends Anthem School as well. Tonight, I'd like to discuss Deer Valley Unified School District's policies on reporting threats of violence. The duty to report certain conditions to public health or law enforcement authorities is one that falls on many of us in this room. All physicians and other healthcare workers, as part of their duty to protect the public, are mandatory reporters. In an open society, others such as teachers, clergy, and police officers share the responsibility of protecting individuals at risk, often by reporting them to authorities. I feel the district needs to revise their policies as it pertains to threats made by students. I strongly feel law enforcement is the only entity that should be entrusted to determine whether a threat is credible. As it currently stands, principals, counselors, and school officials are allowed to determine if a threat is credible and when to involve the police. I feel this is a blatant violation of mandatory reporting and opens the door for the district to large lawsuits should a school shooting take place after their personnel ruled somebody was just joking. Recently, a student told my son he was going to shoot up the school, and he then told my son, "I'll kill you too." Other students heard this. The police were not notified, and the principal and counselor determined it was a joke taken too far after asking the other witnesses. But I should rest assured that they talked to the parents in person. How on earth are they to know with 100% certainty this was a joke and that this child does not have access to weapons to carry out a school shooting? And why was I not notified the day this all happened? This incident happened on August 29th, and I just got confirmation about the incident today, a few hours ago, which is why I'm here now. I only know about this incident because last Friday I was discussing something that came across the news with my son on recent school shootings. I was out of town when the incident happened, and my son was staying with family friends. It slipped his mind, as it would most teenagers who get busy in their video games, by the time I got back, but there is no excuse for his principal and this counselor not to have called me. We have become a society that is desensitized to violence or threats of violence, and it needs to stop. While we cannot control society as a whole, we can control how these threats of violence are handled in our schools. Our children's health and safety should be our top priority at all times. We should not be worrying about the long-term consequences for children that make threats of violence. Lack of accountability at this age will only magnify these issues as they get older. If you threaten to shoot up a school, you deserve to leave in handcuffs and harsh consequences to teach you a lesson. It will show others why jokes about school shootings are never acceptable. Thank you.
Good evening, stakeholders, board members, and Dr. Finch. I have come to talk
Please
about
state your name.
My name is Carrie Knutson. I've come to talk about the override. The override is asking for 15% on secondary or full cash value of our property evaluation. Last year, Deer Valley asked for comments from people of Deer Valley of what their priorities and where their cuts should be made. Number one was preservation for teachers, staff, wages, and compensation. Number two was reduced district office positions and administration. Number three was school consolidations for low enrolled schools. Number four, willing to increase fees for extracurricular activities and cutting non-essential programs such as Mandarin and PIC positions. Instead, Dr. Finch, you want to cut teachers' pay and full-time kindergarten. Our past superintendent, Dr. V, had 2 assistants, and I believe you have 8. Is your big raise that was voted on in 24 based on the bond passing, or has it already started? As a true leader, I believe you lead by example, not by bullying and threats to cutting essential people and our most vulnerable students of their education time. Instead of slapping another Band-Aid on our public schools funding artery, let's go after fair Arizona tax credit that funds private schools while defunding public schools. In 1997, private schools got $500 tax credit for tuition, and public school got $400 for extracurricular activities tax credit. Over the next 27 years, our legislators have raised private school tax credit to $1,500 for tuition and the $400 for extra activities. Yet public school still gets $400 for their extra activities. Private schools have tripled the amount for tuition and added on their extra activities, which now all defunds private school amounts in which we get our funds for our schools. Arizona's legislators that vote every year on private school tax credit, so the amount gets higher and higher. If the Mandarin parents could donate $1,500 to their school's special program that gives them 1 teacher to 2 students, that would help fund it. And if all DV students got the same ratio, 1 teacher to 10 students, we would have the top district in Arizona. But instead, you are threatening bigger class sizes for teachers to handle while cutting their pay. We should be forcing our legislators for fair tax credit. Follow the golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated.
My name's Jeff Rette. President Carver, in 2 months, you're asking the voters to give you $135 million. Could you explain to me why these microphones are still in the back of the room? This is the kind of respect you have for the community and parents? 1 year ago today, I stood at this very microphone and related an incident that happened in a classroom and had profound safety implications. I feel the board members did not take my concerns seriously. I have diabetes and had a sub-assignment at Mountain Ridge High School. I was hospitalized 2 days before this for low blood sugar levels, hypoglycemia, and should have canceled the assignment. I passed out in a classroom that morning, but the administrator in the office assumed I had dozed off. My primary care physician later described this as a medical emergency. Rather than summon the school nurse, I was escorted out of the building while pleading to speak to Mr. Hendricks about my medical situation. She told me he was in a meeting and would call me later. I was literally thrown out into the streets and told to report to the district office the following morning at 7 a.m. At that meeting, I was terminated as a sub in the district by Mrs. Bushnell, who refused to listen to my medical issues. She then contacted my employer, ESI, and I was subsequently banned from subbing in 63 Arizona school districts. I had no previous issues with ESI. A few days after I received the termination letter, I spoke to the school board. ESI then informed me I forfeited my appeal rights. Dr. Finch did an internal investigation which revealed that Mrs. Bushnell had relayed false and misleading information to ESI. Jenna Moffett was dispatched to update ESI and was brushed off. Dr. Finch personally contacted ESI to get me reinstated, and they refused. Dr. Finch reached out to them at the start of this school year and was again rebuffed. This is a district vendor. It should be noted I wear a Dexcom which monitors my blood sugar 24 hours a day. There is no chance of a relapse. I have 3 questions. If a student or teacher is found unresponsive in a classroom tomorrow, will the school nurse be contacted? Secondly, was anybody at Mountain Ridge disciplined for their actions that day? And third, is it too much to ask for a face-to-face meeting with Dr. Finch, Jenna Moffett, and the director of ESI? I have been teaching in classrooms for 46 years and am presently a sub in the Paradise Valley School District. I was a full-time sub in the Deer Valley School District for over 2 years. This is clearly an A-plus rated school district. You have fantastic teachers and top-notch building administrators. There's no doubt a large measure of your success is due to Dr. Finch's exceptional leadership. He is the gold standard for the industry and was named Arizona's 2024 Large School Superintendent of the Year. Please support him in his efforts to reinstate me.
Do you want me to start or wait till the timer goes? There. Dr. Finch, President Carver, governing board members, and colleagues, my name is Kelly Fisher. I currently serve as the president of the Deer Valley Education Association, who currently and proudly sits at 60% membership of the certified staff. Tonight, I wanted to take a moment to share what our Deer Valley Education Association Political Action Committee, along with our members, non-members, administrators, district leadership, have been doing to ensure the passage of the override. We have so far hosted more than 50 events, from showing up at Meet the Teacher nights, middle school and high school sporting events, and hosting postcard writing parties. We are excited to host our first Yes for DVUSD standout tomorrow night in Anthem, and we'll even be hosting one before the October 14th governing board meeting out on the street. One of the most important things we've been doing is having one-on-one conversations with voters at their doors about the importance of passing this override for our students and communities. We've already knocked over 2,500 doors and will continue to do this until the first weekend in November. Before I go, I'd like to invite everyone here and those who are watching online to join us. We have a lot of events, and if knocking doors isn't your thing, come anyway and we'll help you. I'd also like to thank everyone in this room and online who has already shown up to support our students and our schools. I'm not going to name everyone, you know who you are, and just know that we are very grateful for all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Carver,
Yes, Mrs. Fisher.
I'd like to ask that we get a report on the situation at Anthem School. We can't respond to you by law, but I think we need to not again be disconnected. It is our duty to be mindful, and I think we need to be aware of the significance
Yep.
of the situation.
Duly noted. Dr. Finch, if you could update the board and where we're at with that, we'd appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, governing board reports. Ms. Simichek, do you have one for us tonight?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, and just 1 second before you get started. I'm sure you can't see the timer, so I might jump in if you get running long, okay?
Okay, thanks. I had the opportunity to attend the Boulder Creek ribbon cutting for the new beach volleyball courts last week. It was a wonderful celebration, and congratulations to those students. It looked like they were just having a blast. They went right into their first game. In addition, as the month of September comes to a close, I want to continue to recognize the Suicide Prevention Month. That is the month of September. And I want to take a moment to speak directly to the importance of the mental health and well-being of our students here in Deer Valley and across Arizona. According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth ages 10 to 24 in our state. This is more than just a statistic, it's a call to action. Each life lost represents a young person who felt hopeless, unheard, or alone. And as a school community, we must do everything that we can to change that. This month, as a board member, I'm committed to raising that awareness and reducing stigma, and really focusing on equipping both students and our staff with the tools that they need to recognize these warning signs and reach out for help. I'm also committed to ensuring that mental health is treated with the same urgency and care as physical health, because our students' lives depend on it. I want to say that I do really appreciate the presentation last week that talked a lot about what our schools are doing to help our students and staff. But I'm still requesting that we take an additional step for our students and the prevention of suicide. And when I say that, I mean we must expand our peer-led conversations. So peer-to-peer conversations, peers helping out one another. That is something that I did see lacking in the presentation. We need to make sure that our students know that they're not alone and that their feelings are valid and that help is always available to them. And lots of times that feels very supportive in a peer-to-peer conversation or activity. And I don't want to downplay by any means the amazing, wonderful teachers and administration and nurses that we have in our school district, psychologists and social workers that are there for our students. I see that. I am so incredibly grateful for them. What I'm looking to do in order to, as I said before, this is the second leading cause of death from 10 to 24, is to really focus on bringing in a program that is peer-to-peer. And so therefore, I would like to request again that we take that opportunity to review additional programs, such as Kid in the Corner or something similar to that, something that will help our students connect with one another and develop the skills that they can help positively guide them through these really challenging teenage years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simichek. Mrs. Fisher.
It's been a really, really rough couple of weeks for our nation. I would encourage everybody. I'm a crybaby, so I'm just not even going to try. I would encourage everybody to watch the last board meeting of the Peoria School District. And specifically, Janelle Bowles gave a beautiful tribute to Charlie Kirk. I'm sad. This nation is, it's not just this nation, it's people in general. We have lost the value for human life. I see it over and over again, and it puts fear. It puts fear. Christians are afraid. Speak up, get shot. Stand up, get shot. And it's, the abuse is just, it's just too much, it's too far. So why am I mentioning it here? Well, two things. I had a couple of constituents ask me how they could get a school named after or named in his honor. And I said, most likely not this district with this administration or this board. However, if you see a school being built, consider following the process. But that interest is out there. Several constituents, several groups have asked for that. But the other thing that was very disturbing is I had several reports of individuals within our system celebrating. You don't have to like him, but a woman lost her husband and 2 babies lost their dad. That should not be tolerated. It should not be happening in our district. That's a whole new level of cruelty. And I've seen some pretty hateful individuals in Deer Valley. I've also seen some fabulous ones. I was disgusted to hear that any teacher or employee would think what happened was entertaining or funny or justified. You could find the most liberal Democrat opposite of me, and if they were hurt, I would not find it entertaining. I would mourn for their families because no matter what, they have a family. And our kids definitely don't need to be around anybody that thinks that that is entertaining or funny. I hope that if it is caught, and the person that brought it to me, I said, then report it because I can't do anything. I have zero power. I asked them to bring it forward. They were afraid of retaliation. I said, fine, then address it with them directly. But don't let it go. Because this is a special kind of sickness that would threaten to kill somebody or take that action. I've also had brought to me concerns about what if the bond or the override, if the override doesn't pass. And I've had one that was more disturbing was a political group brought to me. They wanted to let me know that it wasn't personal, but they were not going to support us. They were going to support Peoria, but not us because the board's not doing their job. So I just want to ask the board to step up. It's our duty to make sure that our employees are protected and that any cuts are made reasonable. And considering the time that's left, I just want to reiterate again for the 4th or 5th time that the backup be put on the vouchers and uploaded into board docs. It's public information and we should be able to see it. That's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Botfeld.
I'm going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly again. The good. First of all, to my Jewish friends, Happy Rosh Hashanah or Happy New Year. Secondly, A-rated school district. The more I serve on this board, the more impressed I am with how good this school district is. And I'm not talking about the restaurants or the STEM programs or the academic excellence. Yes, I am, come to think of it. I'm talking about all of those. And they're great. And definitely take that presentation that you did and put it into some sort of public relations effort. The bad. I was out canvassing for the override, and I got stopped by a fella who said to me, "It's going to cost me $6,000. And I said, my, you have a 15 or an $18 million home. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, $6,000 doesn't count. People don't know the real deal. People don't understand the necessity for the override. People are dumb, and they're being influenced by people writing stupid letters that are wrong. And I'm urging those that are writing those letters to please stop now. And the ugly, it's me.
Thank you, Mr. Podfeld. Dr. Pack.
So while I don't have the luxury of going to all the fun events during the daytime, since I'm a teacher, I do get to peruse in the evening all the great Facebook posts that the teachers and schools put up. So thank you for putting that up. I try to like and click and comment. There's a lot of great things happening in our district. I do want to say, with being a great district, we also have to always be mindful of anything that could tarnish our district, like kids having access to things on their school devices that we may not realize, that threats at schools, things like that. We always need to be mindful of that, to watch out for our children and keep them safe. And just when we think just when we think they're safe, something around the corner is going to be safe. So we always have to be vigilant on trying to always check how can we keep our children safe. And if we hear something from constituents, to act on it, because I've heard from several constituents about the school devices, and that's a whole ball game that I didn't have to deal with when my kids went to school. When I was in Deer Valley, we didn't even have devices go home. So now when devices go home, we have to be careful that students are not accessing material that's inappropriate, even if it's cartoons and anime. So other than that, I've been reviewing pages and pages and pages of documents that are attached to the vouchers and asking questions and getting answers and spending my time thoughtfully going through those. So that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Pack. So I was able to attend the Deer Valley High School football game this last September 12th. It happened to be Military Honors Night. The game ball was delivered by a skydiving team that was all decked out in fireworks on their heels and neon jumpsuits, and it's pretty impressive. It was also very impressive that the Skyhawks won again, 31-12, so go Skyhawks. I was also able to attend the Boulder Creek ribbon cutting for the volleyball courts. Some good stuff going on in the district. I'd encourage everybody to get out there and go take a look. A lot of support from the students and all the teams supporting each other. Just to round up, you guys have heard me mention the FBI Citizens Academy I've been attending. I completed that. Only one day left in November. They're going to take us to the range and show off all the cool toys that the government has when it comes to blowing things up. So I guess they find value in that, so it'll be entertaining if nothing else. Couple of things. It has been a hard 2 weeks for our country on a lot of different levels, between the remembrance of September 11th, personal loss of life here in the district of people that are involved in the district, and of course national figures. And I think it's important during these times when it's so easy for us as adults, and by default our children, to read it off of us, to come closer together. Not let these potential sources of division drive us farther apart, but find a reason to find commonality. I think a lot of us forget, with all of the, I'm going to go ahead and use the word madness that has taken over the last couple of years, of the thought process being that it's a First Amendment right, I can say what I want, or I don't care about your feelings, I'm going to get my feelings out of the way. I think we do our community and our society a huge disservice when we look at everything through those glasses, because words have meaning, and words will hurt just about as bad, if not worse, than just about anything else that you can do to somebody. The things that we witness in our lives, people taking their own life and bad things happening, that's all because somebody didn't take the time to listen. somebody didn't take the time to care. And I think if we were all to try a little bit harder, we might be able to avoid some of these things. I tell my children and even folks in the congregation I go to quite often that we have to choose to be offended, right? And by the same token, we should mind the words that we say, because not everybody has the capability to try not to be offended by the things that we might say and the things that we might hurt each other with. So I would just encourage everybody, we're going into the time of year that most people find most loving and most caring, and I would just encourage our community to come together tenfold this time and reach out to folks, and let's build that sense of community so that nobody feels left out, nobody feels like they're on the outside looking in. I'll finish up with just a reminder for our board members that we are technically only acting as a board and as a board member when we sit behind this dais. If we go out into the community to speak, to provide information, to do anything, we might be a person that sits on a board, but you are not acting with the power, authority, or any implied representation of the Deer Valley Unified School District unless we've taken a vote and given you that authority to go do whatever it is that you're going to do. So I would just encourage everybody to please be mindful of that. If you walk too far out on that plank, you might find out that you've bitten off more than you can chew and not be protected by the protections you have when you're doing school board stuff. So just be smart about it. Everybody knows that you serve on the school board. Carry yourself accordingly. Do what's right. Act right. And that's enough of all that. So just love each other. Be good to each other. And because the kids, right? So let's make this a better place for the future generations. Dr. Finch.
Thank you. As you know, I try to get to 500 classrooms a year and actually hit the 5,000 mark here on September 19th. And I went to Mountain Ridge Theater class, and they had fun. They enjoyed the cupcakes, that I'm sure were appropriately blessed. They definitely, the theater kids are very artsy, and so I had quite a celebration. I just want to re-emphasize to the people that are listening, last week, you need to go back and watch the last school board meeting and rewind this one as well to look at our actual academic results. They are quite amazing. We've been on a tear, but the last 3 years, every time I can't think we can do any better. We just continue to do one more notch, and that's quite impressive. It's hard to make that dragster go 0.1 more to go that 5 miles an hour faster, and that's actually a sign of excellence of the machine. That's the dedication to the little details, the interventions, the connections with students. And so I just want to thank staff and administration and our employees, teachers that are making a difference, and that bus driver that's giving that smile when the kid gets on the bus, the playground aide who comes to that student's aid to help them when they skin their knee. It just reflects on a great system, and again, we're a people business, and we're only as good as our people. So keep up the great work. Mr. Carver did talk about a ball being delivered at Deer Valley High School. Well, we did have an F-35 fly over the Sandra O'Connor football field. By the way, full throttle, shook everything. That thing was cooking. I'm sure the Deer Valley Airport was shut down. Probably Sky Harbor, too. I don't know. Maybe they had to zoom around him. Couldn't have had a no-fly zone. That dude was flying fast, and it was right after a big American flag presentation on the field. I believe one of the dealerships let us use their monster flag, so it was a really cool day celebrating 9/11. As you know, this time of year too is our homecomings and all the celebrations with that, and that is really, in my mind, the public schools are the fabric of communities, and so these homecomings are a great time for alumni to come back and for staff and students to connect with other generations that have been to those schools. We are relatively young in the state of Arizona. We're district number 97. I don't know if you know that, but they're all numbered in the order that they were formed. So and it probably didn't help that there's no such town as Deer Valley. We don't exist. We're a part of many towns, but we've been around since 1934, actually. So that started in New River. So we have a great school district. We are in the competition seasons, our middle of sports for the fall, and if you don't know this, 2 of the 4 divisions in marching band, we have the reigning state champs, Barry Goldwater High School and Mountain Ridge High School. And Mountain Ridge is working on a 4-peat, just like O'Connor Beach. So we have a sustained excellence there. So we want to encourage our students to continue to represent us well. We did have a bunch of students attended our Stand Up, Speak Up conference that happens every year. We also have 4 out of 5 high schools had our National Merit finalists. So you're going to see those coming up soon too in front of the board. I also encourage the community to go back and watch the show before the board meeting, which is we had a packed house. We ran out of chairs. Many came to celebrate perfect scores. Dr. Smith likes to call them highest skilled scores. I call them perfect. If you don't miss anything, it's perfect. But he has a technical term for that, highest. So, but we have many students who scored perfect on their tests, so we were honoring them. We were also honoring the teachers at each grade level. And I actually did 84 certificates of students or teachers that did well on the tests. So keep up the great work, team. Appreciate what you do. Something to be pretty proud of. Our next, we have fall break coming up. We have a little break there to recharge here next week. Take your time there and enjoy it. And the next school board meeting is in 3 weeks, October 14th.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. All future governing board meetings are listed on the district website. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Everybody have a good evening and please drive safe.
And that was
Checked out after her board report. I'm sure she did.
My world's wrong.
I heard the tire squeal.